Patty, brother, welcome to the show. Welcome
Thanks,
to the
buddy.
dungeon, the compound, the garage.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate your time. I love being around people like you. You guys have you have an energy, right, about you. I'm sure people have told this to you in the past, but man, it's infectious, brother. I love it. I'm like,
Thanks,
ready,
buddy.
You know?
I love it.
I had a long ass day of work, and I'm like goose fraba. Like I'm very calmed down.
Yes.
But like as you come here, I'm like, all right, here we go. We're gonna
have some fun.
We're gonna have a good show. We're gonna have a good time.
Let's do it.
Right on. So I appreciate that. Now, kind of take us through, start us the journey to tell a bit about yourself from kind of your transition leaving high school, and take us through kind of where we are now.
Oh, we're going way back here. Many decades, eh? So, high school, I was always athletic in high school, right? And I was heavy into golf, right? I've been into golf. My dad was a greenskeeper at Cedar Green, and so he's done that his entire life. And so, obviously, right, I lived right beside the course. I got into the sport. So after high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, right? I was kind of a little bit of a lost puppy. I didn't know if I was, if I wanted... I thought that I was good enough to take it to the next level, as we all do, right? So that's what I did. I ended up going to Cambrian College, and I decided to become a golf pro, right? So in Canada, in Northern Ontario at the time, for me, they had just introduced a program called the Elite Program. So what that meant is prior to that year, all you had to do to become a golf pro in Northern Ontario was play in, and you had to be a good player.
Makes sense.
Right? So you're supposed to have to be a good player, right? But the year that I had made the decision, they then introduced this Elite Program. So now we had to go to school. We had to have a degree. I went to Cambrian College, and I took public relations, got a business degree, took public relations, did that, turned pro, did that till I was about... I'm going to say 24. From 19 years, I was 19 years old until about 24. Worked at the golf course, was up at 5 a.m., worked the pro shop till 2.
Amazing.
Taught lessons all afternoon and moved on. So from there, golf obviously didn't pan out, right? It is what it is, and we all think we're going to put the time in and take the necessary steps to get to that next level. Yeah. Such is life, I didn't do it. So golf had basically... my career in golf was coming to an end, and I was seeing that, so I was kind of like, once again, lost puppy. What do I do, right? My buddy Mike Johnson owned a company called Ray Bland, food distributing company. Went where he said, Patty, come on over. We'll start you from scratch. Nice. And within a couple of years, I was running the company for him, and we did that for 10 years almost. Wow. It was awesome. Like boneless beef, all the hamburger meat you buy at the grocery store, Thorno cheese curds, all that stuff. All the lunch meats, the cheeses, your bacon, meat pies. The good stuff. The good stuff. Not the lean stuff we're in today. So I did that, and then he sold the company, and when you're with a company for a long time, sometimes things happen and you got to move on. So that brought us to, so that's now I'm at about 32 years old kind of deal, right? And thinking of what can I do? I want to be on my own. Right? I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I don't want to be tied down to a 9-to-5 job. For sure. And so, long story short, my buddy and I, we opened up Mac Media Sudbury, which is what I currently do today, man. So, and that is digital advertising, right? So we started at one Tim Hortons. I made $400 a month for a year because I believed in the company. Wow. Yeah, you dip in your savings, but if you believe, I believed in it. I just believed in it. There was nothing in Sudbury, right? There was nothing like that in Sudbury. Sudbury's the biggest city north of Barrie, right? Pretty much, yeah. It is. So we did it. We tried it. We said, let's take a leap of faith. Let's do this, right? We all have friends, and we have fallback plans, right? And I mean, if I had to go work construction, I would do it till I found something else. Right. But that's where we are today now, man. So Mac Media Sudbury evolved like crazy. It took off. One Tim Hortons turned into 2, turned into 3. Now we have 4 of those. That expanded to getting a contract with the hospital, right? So we have the hospital. We have Laurentian University, right? So everything blossomed. So it was awesome. It was such a cool thing, right? It's like stepping on a ladder. The first Tim Hortons, I can get the second one now. Yeah. I can get the third one.
You can't jump up and get the 30th rung. It doesn't happen quite like that. No, it doesn't. No, you can't start working out and bench 200 pounds right off the bat. Right? That's true, and at least not a proper form. Yeah, well, whatever. Sure. Yeah. Right, whatever counts for your win in that case, for sure. Right on.
So, and then here we are, and then I was doing Mac Media for about a good 10, 11 years, and then 2.5 years ago, sold my company to Dave and Sandra Petrina. Yep. Which is a Petrina Advertising. They own Outdoor Exposure, Sign City, and really what that did for me, that was just another step up because it allowed me to now offer my clients more than just the digital part of the world, right? So we have all the best areas to advertise digitally top of mind, right? Where people are sitting, staring at your billboard. That's the beauty of it, right? We bring it to them. They don't have to come to us.
Right.
And so, road signs, building signs, A to Z advertising, man. You want me to make you a movie? I will make you a movie, bro.
Epic.
This podcast could become a movie.
We'll talk.
We'll talk later on.
Yeah, I'll put a pin in that one for sure.
So, and that's basically it, really, at the end of the day. And I mean, I've always been a big golfer, right? It's in my blood, and still competitive to a certain extent. 46 now, right? So, that get up and drive to go hit balls in practice is out the door. So now it's just fun, and my son challenges me a little bit, right? So he still can't beat me, but he's getting there, and so that's what keeps me going
just
hard.
Make that clear.
Just that's very clear, Trentster. But anyways, and so here we are, my man. Here we are.
Amazing. So throughout that journey, in the beginning stages of Mac Media, what did you find was the most challenging thing that you had faced to start?
Good question. So, first of all, this was brand new. Right? So nobody, what do you mean digital advertising? What does that mean? Mm-hmm. Well, it means that when you go to Tim Hortons, and you're stuck in that fucking drive-through, and, you're sitting there for 20 minutes, what do? Right? So now you have that billboard right in front of your face, and you're staring at the ad. So that's kind of the premises that I went with my clients. And to be honest with you, it was a lot of... I started off with friends of mine that own companies, right? To give me that chance to get some product up on that board so other companies could see the effect of it.
Right.
And it took about 6 months. I only had about 5 clients for the first 6 months. God bless them. So most of them are still with me today.
Amazing.
After almost 12 years.
Yeah.
And they love it. It does well for them, and it's a fun gig. It's like, I like to go see people. I like to sit down and talk to you, right? And I like to, and that's kind of sort of how it went. So that's how we started, with friends that believed in it. And then once people saw it, that's cool. Yeah. You know what? Look at all these people stuck in the drive-thru here. And look at all these people just staring at the billboard. We have to beep our horns to get people to drive up to go get their coffee because they're stuck staring at the billboard. And, to me, music to my ears.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's the whole purpose of it. And that's how we started. That's how it started for me, right? And really, it just got to a point where the way we structure our company and the ads is, especially at the Tim Hortons drive-thrus, you can only put so many ads per billboard, right? Otherwise, your ads need to stay up for 10 seconds, right? So in a loop, you only have so many 10-second spots, right?
Right.
So once it got full, or it was getting close to being full, then I moved on to my next Tim Hortons, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So as digital marketing and advertising kind of became more mainstream as a business, and people kind of understood, right? And they were able to almost, whether it be copy other businesses or models and see learn from other people doing it first. In your case, how were you able to kind of, as other businesses blossom and started, and because you can, and I'm sure you know this better than most, that wave that begins of enthusiasm that everybody takes and how hard everybody pushes something right at the beginning of it. How were you able to stay authentic through something where, if you're the only example of what you're doing, pretty much everybody's just trying to do a better version of what you're doing? How are you able to stay authentic and still rise during that?
The big thing,
those days.
Great question again. The big thing that I had an advantage because of the first one, right? So by the time competition for me, and really still,
not so much.
Not so much, because what I did, to tell you what I did, Glenn, when I started off, I realized that, this industry, this digital billboard, right? Not so much digital marketing, but the digital billboards, the outdoor digital billboard world, location.
That's it, eh?
So once it just hit me one day, I'm like, you know what? I better try and get all the locations that I can right now, right? Develop a fantastic... Basically, I gave the people that I have my billboards at an offer that it was off. I was not greedy, right? I asked for less. I gave them more.
Nice.
Well, I mean, listen, the world revolves, at the end of the day, the world revolves around money.
100% it does,
and the best thing that I can say to people is, do what you love.
Right.
Forget about the money. Forget about it for 1 second and do what you love.
Yeah.
And grow from there, right? Because if you don't, you're just chasing, and you're never. It's just a constant circle of stress and anxiety. So I did that. I sorry, squirrel moment there. I went off the side.
No, for sure.
But
for sure.
But like I said, but that's what I did, right? So I just realized that let me try and get every Tim Hortons I can, because you can't get all of them, right?
No.
There's laws with Tim Hortons Corporation and things like that, but
interesting.
And we just then the hospital came along, right? And it was all people that I knew.
Amazing.
Through being a golf pro.
Yeah.
Now listen, being in golf, I mean, you know a lot of people, especially when you're the pro, right?
Yeah.
So you have 3 to 4, 5, 6, 700 members per golf club, and tournaments. So I developed relationships. Like I'm a people's guy, right?
For sure.
I like to have friends, and you know what? I just tried to be straight up and honest. Yeah. Why do you think this is going to work for me? Well, it's very inexpensive, and it's in people's face where people go.
That's it.
They're like, well, what do you mean people go? I go, well, Tim Hortons. People go. Some people go 4 times a day to get a coffee, right? Some people will stop at a Tim Hortons because it's force of habit.
Yeah.
And they won't even drink the coffee.
That's
right?
true.
I've done it myself.
Yeah.
I've done it myself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Myself included.
So I saw that and I said, and the clients they go, you know what, you're right. Right? So same thing, we moved over to the hospital and we have the Northwood clinics, and these are all sit waiting areas. So imagine the emergency department at the hospital.
Yeah.
40, 50 people stuck in there. There's no music. No one talks to anybody.
Yeah.
So you try and give them something to distract them from where they're at, and they stare at the unit, and it's ad after ad after ad. Now, to keep it fresh with the clients, I try as much as possible to develop a friendship with my clients, so that they can call me or text me 24/7. And at the end of the day, I don't fool around. Like, this is the price, and I'm going to give you everything for that price. What do you mean, Patty? Well, I'll change your ad for you every week if you want, for free. Yeah. Patty, what if we have a promotion and, we signed up for a 1-year contract with you, but what if we have a promotion in the 3rd month of the year?
Yeah.
And, we want some extra advertising. To a lot of my clients, and they can attest to this, I said, you know what, I'll just do it for you.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? You don't want an extra money for that? I said, well, you know what, you signed up for a year. I appreciate you for that. Right? Yeah. Let's talk in a year. If you're happy with it, see, my biggest thing here, I'll put it to you this way, is my renewals, right?
Is your what, sir?
My renewals.
Oh, renewals,
If my clients renew with me year after year after year, then I must be doing something good. Or the product is working for them, right? Right. There's nothing better than
both really good things to have working.
Right? Yeah. So and I'm like that with a young couple just starting opening up a chip stand, and I'm also like that sitting in front of a board of directors at the hospital saying, this is why I think you should have me selling advertising and being part of your establishment with you, right?
Amazing.
And that's a thing you have to understand. So I don't know if that answers your question.
For sure.
But that's kind of how I roll, and it's I just tell them like it is, show them what it is, and let them decide. I let the client decide. I love it.
That's huge. I think a lot of people try to make decisions, and we call it in our industry, create more workers, or like create more workers, right? Where you say, hey man, I need you to come like install a new deadbolt on my door. I'm like, all right, sounds good. I show up and I'm like, oh, man, this door is crooked. Can't do it. Or, oh man, there's like the frame on this door. I got to cut the whole frame out, build a new door, cut the door. Then I can put the lock on. You're like, man, I need you to do one thing. Yeah. And you created 6 other tasks for you to do.
Exactly. I'm sure you could have fixed the lock on the door if you knew what you were doing, right?
Exactly, right? And so that's what a lot of people, especially in the construction industry, as contractors, and everybody's a contractor, right? And everybody's, and like you said, money is the driving force, and a lot of people don't really, per se, like what they do. And I think when they figure that they're good, whether it be operating equipment or whatnot, and then they're able to kind of put that into a business and then use money as the driving force because there's a good amount of time in the year that we have. So they're like, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money here. And then the clients kind of...
They see that.
I see it, yeah.
Like...
It's tricky.
A big thing for me, like, and again, the advertising world, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about budgets, right?
Yeah.
And I've learned over the years. You learn over the years, right? You learn over the years to ask your clients, say, "Oh, geez, you really want to do a big campaign here? What's your budget?"
Yeah.
Because once they find out the pricing, and they want 7 locations per month. Well, each location though has a cost.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they go, "Oh, boys, I didn't." Right. So then what I need to do is okay, well, listen, we're gonna make this work.
Yeah.
But why don't we do it this way instead of this way? Instead of dropping your entire budget for a 1 month blitz, why don't we split up into 3? Do the month of September, skip October, we'll reboot you up in November.
Yeah.
Skip this, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they go, "Well, we can do that." I go, "Of course you can do that. If there's 12 months in a year and you want to advertise 2 months and you want to go month 9 and month 2, I'll talk to you in month 2. I'll call you in month 6 to say hello, and I'll see you in month 9 for a second. And life is good, right? And so
for sure.
You have to, budgets is a big important thing to know what you're working with. It's very you can't overpromise a client,
right?
And that's one thing I learned. If you make a promise, you have to deliver on that promise, because the only thing that's gonna make your reputation bigger and better is what that last client says about you, right?
That's
so
true.
I just try and
you're only as good as your last client.
You're only good as your last client, and
interesting. There's,
I like what you said about the lock with the door there, because that is so relative to every business. I don't know if shady is the right word. You get a lot of shady people that, like you said, I just need my lock changed back, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, but you need your door. But no, maybe we should do the frame.
I can't put this in because of the door. Oh, and then they buy a door and they want the door. They like the door, but the door is too small, so they got to build out the frame. And now we got to reside the house.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, something's going on here.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Weird.
Yeah. I can change your tires for you. It's $8,000.
Yeah.
Best tires you've ever been on. You might feel like you're floating on these things. I'll tell you right now. But I hear you, right? So, and that's why I never wanted to be, and God forbid, I have a lot of car salesman friends. One of them was one of my best friends on the planet. But nice. I just didn't want to do that type of job, because you're just forcing for the best, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Well, you want the base model. You want that base model? Listen to me. You give me $20 a month more, and I'll bump this car up to the XLT model.
You want a moonroof? I got you a moonroof.
$9 extra a month. You won't even notice that. There
it goes. 13 extra channels on the radio station. You're not going to listen to them, but they're there.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's like,
that was awesome.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. It's whatever. It is what it is.
I find a lot of, when it comes to sales, my little brother and I say it a lot. Well, him more so brought me into this way of thinking where it's car salesmen and real estate agents. Like you said, I have good friends in the industry in both sides.
Ditto.
It's tough because there's something about the personality and the way they inflame what they're doing that is very tough to believe if it's authentic or not.
That's right.
It's like, is that actually how you are? Are you always this full energy, or as soon as the door closes and you're like, it's all downhill?
Right.
It's tough.
That's
right. It's tough to believe, right?
Once you get to know somebody and you get to figure them out, right? After seeing them more and more, you can tell, right? You can tell the consistency of somebody's character.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm always happy to see it, but that's me.
Yeah, it's probably effortless too.
It's
not that. You're like, it's who you are. Yeah, it's my default. I cruise on this.
Yeah, I listen. Hugs and kisses to all my friends all the time. I see them 5 times a week. Every time I leave, it's a hug and a kiss. My buddies give me, love you, bro. Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Amazing.
Whatever. I don't know if that's it is what it is, right? My friendships with my friends are very important because, and my girlfriend as well too, right? Obviously, and the person that you're with, but. You just learn life, like high school. Okay.
Yeah.
High school.
Okay.
Had great friends in high school. We had a great crew, whole 9 yards. I don't hang around with one person that I hung around with in high school. My direct high school, sorry.
Interesting.
I went to Notre Dame, right? I hung around, most of my best friends went to St. Charles.
Yeah.
And that was through golf. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in golf, I had lots of good friends from Lively. Lockerbie, Llewellyn, right? And I lived in Garson.
Yeah.
Right? Therein lies my friendship evolution after high school, right? So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. How do you suppose people are able to, if they're in, like, how do people be themselves nowadays more so than anything? Whether, not so much even in business, but just in doing anything.
I wish people were. I wish people were, you know, that, and it's that's what, you know, like my son's 17, right? So, and I'm watching him, he's doing awesome, in all aspects, right? I couldn't really, to be honest with you, I couldn't really ask for better, right? He's not a shithead, he's not,
good point,
he's not into, you know, pardon my French, he's not, you know, he's not into drugs, and that I know of, and I check around, you know. So, but, like, I always tell him, be you. If people don't like you, then you don't want to be around them, because they're just going to bring you down.
Easy as that.
Because you don't jive. It's not, maybe not necessarily they don't like you. Yeah, it's just they don't jive. You don't jive with them.
It happens.
Your sense of humor does not match their sense of humor, right? And you know, so I just told him, and especially in high school, and I said when he moves on, I said, listen, you surround yourself with people you're comfortable with, and you feel genuinely love you in return, right? And then you're good. Then you don't have to be fake. And then you don't have to do this to get popularity. And then don't worry about that. That will come, right? My dad, I love him, right? He's 80. Amazing. Jerry from the Jerry SD.
Jerry.
He's very well known in the city. He's got his own little character. He's a wild Frenchman, right? Yeah. Sturgeon Falls.
Amazing, yeah.
And, you know, the only thing that, you know, he's had stage 4 cancer and this is not a sad thing. This is funny. For like 11 years now, 11, 12 years, okay? If you knew my dad, you know. So, stage 4 prostate cancer, okay? So he's managed it, right? And managed it.
Amazing. Yeah.
And, you know, the cancer's progressed into his bones and a little bit of his lungs. So he's on his last couple of years there now, if we're lucky, right? But the man has lived a life that would shame movie stars.
Amazing.
Okay? Not rich. But everybody loves him because it's his character.
That's amazing,
right? So that's how I grew up. I saw my dad. It'd be a cross between my dad. I don't even know. I'll think of it, right? To give you an exact. It's hard to kind of put it all together, right? He's a crazy old Frenchman, right?
Amazing,
we'll leave it at that. But I got a lot of my character, I think, and a lot of my outgoingness to talk to people through seeing my dad and how he acted with other people. When my dad walked into a room, it's, hey Jerry, everybody, hey Jerry, regardless of where he went.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I admired that, right? I'm like, how come Dad is
so... He just wanted his attention,
My dad's a greenskeeper. He's not the mayor. He's not a lawyer. He's not a police chief. He's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a greenskeeper, man. Right? He wears work boots and a ripped t-shirt. But
epic.
Will outwork anybody on the planet. It's out of control. He's 80 years old. He's got 16-year-olds working. He's riddled with cancer. He's out there shoveling sand trap. And it's just old school.
Come on.
Old school. 1942 from Sturgeon Falls, man. Hey. Right? So they would work and then they would drink.
Yeah.
And but no days off.
No.
You know?
Oh no.
So I see that.
That's hilarious.
I then, start working in the pro shop. I'm dealing with people 24/7 right in my face. You get 30 people in the pro shop in a tournament sometimes, right? So you just have to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always noticed other people, for some reason, I'm always looking, right? And I can tell when someone's uncomfortable in front of people, and I just want to go in there and put my arm around that person and just kind of take control, because it's, whatever, big brother in me nonetheless. But
no, for sure.
It was just kind of my dad's character that I think really honestly rubbed off on me. And you're like, apple doesn't fall far from the tree sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then I just became myself, I just allowed myself to become myself. But it is what it is. It's just... I think it's a lot of who you surround yourself with, right?
It's huge, man.
Right? And listen, some people, confidence is a big thing, right? Like I said, I don't know, man. I just tell people, you know what? Don't worry about what anybody thinks about you, man.
Yeah, it's none of your business anyway.
And you know what? If they got a problem, honestly, tell them to beat it.
Yeah.
It's, what's that? Beat it. Right? You know what
100%.
Because you don't need that negativity in your life.
You don't. It's exhausting to deal with.
Yeah,
Anxious, everything. Oh,
wow, it's just...
nothing good can come from it.
Nothing good can... And you know another thing? You don't need to have 20 friends. You don't need to have 20 good friends, right? Because think of how exhausting that is.
It's a lot.
Maintaining those friendships.
And no time for yourself.
No time for yourself.
Half the time for
That's
them
number one. Time for yourself.
Yeah.
I learned that in my 40s.
Yeah.
Right?
Jeez. No kidding.
So that's, That's kind of where I got it from my dad, and he's still alive today, and he's still quite the character.
Still digging, baby.
Still digging. He's still digging. It's
amazing.
Awesome. That's awesome. So
awesome. So with that kind of being said, how important is it for, like, as a young man growing up and developing, seeing a positive male role model with that personality? Like, how important do you think that is?
Amazing.
In general.
Amazing. It made me I'm not an introvert by any stretch of the imagination, right, brother? No. And so, but it just allowed this allowed me to meet so many people, right? I mean, if I walk in a room and I don't know you, I'll go shake your hand right away.
For sure.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Patty.
Yeah.
And I'll walk away. I won't bug you, right? Yeah. You'll come to me after, and then we'll start. Once you talk to me, you love me or you don't.
Yeah, it's pretty. I feel it's easy that way.
Yeah,
right?
it's right. It's not hard, right? So, and for the most part, I feel I'm well liked by most people I meet. But I enjoy friendships. I would rather be your buddy than walk by you and us not look at each other.
It's weird. It's kind of awkward, and then you got to think about it, and it's
awkward.
Okay, just be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then that's it.
It's awkward, right, Glenn? And and you know what? If you don't know someone's name, but you feel you need to say hi, how you doing, man? Mm-hmm. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Yeah, that's it. Anybody.
That's all because you made them feel good by saying hi to them.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
Right. It's not always about us, right? And I grew up in the service industry, right? Mm-hmm. And so especially working at Cedar Green. Listen, man. I remember I was my son's age, 17 years old. I'd be up at 5:30 in the morning, open up the pro shop, and I'd have 200 Inco guys waiting there.
Jeez.
At 6:30. Well, they'd be there at 6 a.m. Right? The shotgun at 7 a.m. Shotgun tournament. Yeah. So they all want golf carts. They all want balls and you're there by yourself, by the way, too. That's how it was run back in the day.
You just gotta figure shit out.
You just gotta give it. So the first thing I did is said I absolutely refuse to look like a retard here and an idiot. Yeah. And I'm gonna know this cash register the back of my hand. I'm gonna be once I punched in your 9-hole fee, I know you want tees. I've already hit the tees because you got to get out. I got to get you out of there. Yeah. So I became fast and boom. What else do you need?
Nice.
Sales skill developed, personality skill developed. Right. I learned how to deal with a bunch of different characters too. Right.
Interesting.
So
I can imagine.
If I meet somebody that looks like he just wants to hurt people and is having a bad day, you know what I mean? People like that, and I'll go right up to him, go, "How you doing, bro?" and give him a tap on the shoulder.
You might go. Be a bit anxious, but
I'm gone after it. Yeah. But then they'll go, "Oh, whatever. That guy Patty's harmless, right? He just wants to be my friend." Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I've answered your question, but that's where I got my personality from. Probably my dad, and just working in, surrounded with people all the time. My whole entire life. Mm-hmm. When I worked in the meat and cheese industry, Ray Bland Distributors, I was in the grocery stores. You have to talk to the meat manager, deli manager. Well, you're there for 2 hours, and the next thing you know, you're talking to all of them in one big circle at once because we're all buddies. That's how I roll. Period.
Amazing.
Period. And it's just I think that a lot of these business owners, they don't. It's so quick and it's so dry. It's what do you got? How much? Okay, I'll let you know. Bye. There's no relationship development. Yeah. There's no trust. There's no earned trust there. From the being in front of somebody and talking to somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's become easy. Sure. It's not easy, but it's just I don't know. I'm not afraid of the rejection. How does that sound?
That's easy,
right?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, man? Good. Yeah. See you later. Have a great day. Simple, man.
Amazing.
I feel good like that. I don't. I'm not the bully. I'm the guy that, you know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just everybody be happy, be friendly, loving. Friendships are so more important, and being nice to people, and being able to talk to people than not being able to talk to people, right?
Yeah. The way I look at certain things like that is with the authenticity part, and just being yourself, and then finding out how to be confident with yourself. It's my way of looking at it, and this gentleman who I tried to have on the show, but he lives in St. Louis, and the Zoom connection was absolute shit. So we just pulled the plug, but then he invited me to go to St. Louis to do it in his studio, and I was like, all right, this will be cool. So when the borders open, fingers crossed, it's sooner or later, I can drive down, right? Excuse me. But what we were kind of talking about is our whole main focus for our little chit chat, right? The whole talk about the show prior to doing it was why being yourself is so easy because nobody cares about you anyway. You know what I mean? Right? Nobody cares what you're doing. So in the way I'll look at it, I'm like, oh, I'll say what I want on the show. People say what they want on the show. I'm not in the business of telling people what they can and can't say. Say whatever you want to say. Say whatever you want, however you want to say it, because nobody's listening anyway. And if multiple people are on, I'm like, and somebody has an issue with something I said, I'm like, first of all, you watched the episode. Thank you. Second of all, you watched it long enough to hear what he said.
Yeah.
But you were having a bad day, and then you got 29 minutes in to me having a conversation with somebody in my garage that you have an issue that you have to reach out to me. Yeah, you know what? Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, this is amazing.
Or invite them on your shoulder.
Yeah. Oh man, I've had a few. Oh dude,
come on the show then.
Check this out. I've had a few. I've had a few instances now. Way back when the Black Lives Matter movement kind of took place, right?
Yeah.
And everybody posted the square to end racism. I shared one clip from this like thing. This guy I looked up to for a while. I did a lot of research on it, right? I prepped it.
Yeah.
And I shared it immediately.
What about something about the Black Lives Matter?
It was more about rioting and like just how I can't remember specifics, but it was something along the lines of like they were focusing. It's like, hey, make sure the difference between like protesting and like rioting and looting, like how like draw the lines between the two. Something about that, right? I'm not going to get too specific to jam all the words, but that's essentially the gist of it. And somebody responded to me saying, people need to be more educated. People need to educate themselves on these subjects before posting things. And I
sending you a dig.
Yeah, and I was like, me? What's going on here?
Right.
And they're like, yes, you. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then I'm like, please explain. And then they explained to me, and then I explained my piece, and then they went further. And I'm like, okay. I said, okay. I'm like, hey, there's two things. I'm like, look. Or, no. Hey, no disrespect to you. No disrespect to the issue. Didn't know you would take it that way. I apologize for this. I will be sure to educate myself more on this subject. If you want to come on my podcast, we can discuss this.
Love that.
Further. They're like, yes, please educate yourself. And I'm like, podcast question mark?
Right.
And they saw it, didn't nothing.
Of course not, because
I'm like, I'm not editing this.
Water off the duck's back, bro.
Yeah.
Water off a duck's back right there. You know what I mean? Well, did you educate yourself before you made that point about
100%.
So you knew what you're talking about, and you stood behind. You stand behind what you said,
sure,
right? So
it's out there. Right?
I would have just said to her, well, did you ask her to explain what she didn't like?
Yeah, she did a bit. It was like a long enough ago, right?
And that's why it's so tough. Those subjects, it's so
bad. So now I don't even get involved. I'm like, you know what? That's my example. Yeah. I can't do that. I don't want that kind of stuff. Yeah. So like, I'm like, I'll stick with what I want to do, and then it just gets exhausting because I'm like, if I imagine every single time there's an issue, like a global issue, you say something and then you get people say, I'm like, I don't have time for that, man. You got to run a business. You got to be a parent.
Like
you got
like
all these things. So
no, it's
crazy.
It was like I remember a conversation I had about being adopted. Like I'm adopted, right? I was adopted at 2 months old, and it was a pro-life or pro-choice, right, kind of thing. Okay. And I just said something. Somebody asked me. It was a conversation. I forget what it was, but they said, not necessarily what are your thoughts. Yeah. And I just simply said, what is the big deal here? Like, really, what is the big deal? Why can't they just let them do what they want to do? Does it affect you? No. Does it ruin your life? You're not going to be able to eat dinner tonight because this... Well, no, I'm going to eat dinner anyways, and I'm going to do what I want to do. So what are you chirping me for right now? What is your point here?
Yeah.
What are you trying to gain out of this? So let me give you a hug. I'm going to give you a hug. Do you feel better about your point? And then they look at you, I got nothing to say because I really don't know what to say right now. Yeah. Especially when I said, well, hey man, I was adopted.
Yeah.
So I'm still okay. Mm-hmm. I'm still okay under circumstances. If somebody, if it is what it is, I don't live their life. I don't know what's going on with them.
Right.
Who am I to judge? So they just looked and go, but Pat, you were adopted. I said, exactly.
Yeah.
Think of what I'm saying to you right now. Right? I love adoption. I would rather them have put it up for adoption, but I just so. Again, this might be right. So it's so to me, honestly, that subject it's you can't win.
No.
They're all lose scenarios, right? As far as I'm concerned, but it is what it is. It's the world we live in. These are conversations. I mean, what did I watch the other day there that just threw me for a loop? And I had to call my girlfriend. I go, "Did you just watch that? Did they say what they said?" I forget. She goes, "Yes, Pat. That's what they said, Pat. Okay, welcome to 2021." I go, "I know, but it doesn't make any sense though.
I don't know what's going on here."
Like so one of those things, right? But it's tough, crazy. Man. It's tough. It is tough. It's tough, right?
It's tough for sure.
I don't want to offend it. I'm not looking to offend anybody. I'm not.
Oh, never.
At the end of the day, I personally think that whatever opinion I have really isn't gonna make any good.
Rarely.
Probably gonna insult somebody.
Always does.
Always
for
does.
Sure. You can never.
Right, and then you let me tell you something right now. On social media and stuff like that, you rub somebody the wrong way, that can go a little cuckoo on you.
Yeah, and you don't even have to do a lot to do that.
No, right?
Right, it's very easy.
But I got no time for that. That's where I old school a little bit there. It's the bleeding heart whininess. Yeah. Sometimes but listen, that's not here nor there.
Right, and I noticed that. That's interesting. You mentioned social media because you're not on it.
Nope.
Are you?
Nope, not much at all.
Barely. Think so.
No, barely. I'm barely on Facebook.
Yeah.
I was, I had a friend that just recently, she was a very good friend of mine. She just passed away, and through cancer, and she battled very, very, very hard. So proud of her. It was unbelievable.
Amazing.
And I'm very proud of my friend too, her husband. One of my best friends. Very proud of him. He did well, but I would only go on Facebook to check his posts about what was going on, the progression, because you can't. Yeah. You're not gonna. You let them be.
Yeah, right? They'll update when it's necessary.
But then I'll check, and I'm on my Facebook. I'm not really interested in anything on here. It's just, so it's. I have a Mac Media Facebook page, of course, that we manage for business and stuff. But on my in my personal life, I don't know. Maybe if it's where I am at age wise, right? Mm-hmm. I love technology. Obviously, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, like even Twitter and these things, I don't partake. I don't. Mm-hmm. And that goes. You know what, Glenn? That goes back to what I said. It's just it's not me. Right. It's not me, bro. I'd rather I'd rather watch a movie with my girlfriend, or I'd rather hang out with my kid, or I'd rather go golf with my buddies, or I'd rather take a snooze on the couch.
Literally anything else.
It's just it drives me nuts. I see people on their phone 24/7. Today in the drive-through going to get my coffee, I beeped twice at some guy. He's just looking at his phone, and there's 7 car lengths ahead of him waiting empty. Because then what happens? People beep me behind. So social media is awesome. Mm-hmm. I encourage clients to use it for work purposes without question. Social media today is one of the biggest forms of communication, advertising, the whole 9 yards. But for me, on a personal level, I'm 46, right? So I have my close group of friends. Come good friends with you, but that's later on in life, like Corey. Yeah. Corey's, I love Corey.
Dude, I love Corey.
Corey. He's my bro.
Guy. Yeah, for sure. He's the reason.
Live right I know. We're here today, right?
Best jiu-jitsu partner I've ever had.
Oh, I know. So, Corey's the reson why I'm training. Corey's the reason why Trent is so heavy into getting into it, like you guys. So it's Corey's my bro. We live beside each other there.
Oh yeah,
10 years on Ontario Street.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah, that was my little house there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
dude. So, switching gears now that you mentioned it, fitness. Mm-hmm. Golf aside, like you said, what, you're 48?
46.
46, right. So, you're in pretty good shape for somebody who's 46,
Thanks,
man.
buddy.
Like, is that just golf? Like, there's
no. I've always wanted to be in shape, right? I've always wanted to be healthy. It was always important to me to be strong. Mm-hmm. Not for fighting or anything like that.
Right.
But the stronger I was physically, I'm not a big guy. I'm barely 5'10".
Yeah.
I'm a $180. But golf, it helped me be stronger in golf. It helped me. I was very athletic. Played everything.
That's right.
Wanted to be good at it.
Yeah.
So, and I just, to be honest, my buddy Mike Johnson that I went over to Ray Bland's.
Yeah.
When I started working out when I was 22.
Okay.
And old school, man.
Yeah.
Like chest one day and legs the next and shoulders and bis and tries.
Amazing.
Nothing like today where you're supersetting, puking in a bucket every 10 seconds, with light weights there. But, and I loved it. And now that I'm, I had a heart attack, right? When I was, when was that? 2 years ago I had that?
I believe so.
2 years when I was 44, right? So I smoked cigarettes too, by the way. I smoked a pack a day since I was 15. And I'll tell you right now, at the golf course, sitting up on the garage, and one of my best friends had darts, cigarettes.
Yeah.
You want to try? Just to be cool. To be cool. Everybody, don't smoke cigarettes to be cool, because it ain't cool. And I got rope-a-doped into that. I got sucked in, and next thing you know, I'm smoking. Like, I'm almost smoking a pack and a half a day, really.
Yeah.
Every time I golf, it says cigarette a hole, a dart a hole.
Makes sense.
When you're driving, you're smoking all the time, right?
Yeah.
And I did all that, and I still worked out, and still, So, had the heart attack, blah, blah, blah. A little bit of a punch in the face for me, right?
I can imagine.
And so now, especially because of that, but now it's just at 46 years old, listen, Glenn, Trent can't take me yet, okay? I'm telling you that right now. And it's
epic.
And that is a fun thing, right? That's fun.
That's what you want.
That's what I want.
You want him to earn it.
I want him to earn it. Yeah. Now, if we don't get me wrong, if Trent and I went on the mats, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, you're like, I wouldn't show up, so I got him.
But on strength,
yeah,
I still got my son on strength.
Hell yeah,
right?
Nice.
And it's important for me, because I'll tell you what, if I don't work now at my age, if I don't work out for a full week, I feel shitty. Mm-hmm. I feel that you don't know this yet, but when you hit your 40s, it's a biological thing, man. It's like the clock all of a sudden goes, has a little bit of a stutter in your energy levels and stuff. I'm telling you,
come on.
Listen to me. If you're not, you're the type of person or individual that has never done anything physical, like just staying in shape or anything like that, right? Just a regular, whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've been that many times. Yeah. You'll see, but if you're somebody that stays in shape, you feel younger, you're quicker, you're stronger. It's all about the energy. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
In your 40s, my man, I will tell you this.
All right.
It's all about energy.
Yeah.
And that's why I work out, and I love it. I love it. Patty and I got a program. We got a certain goal that we're getting to for stuff like that. So, no.
He's great.
And you know what else I like too, to be honest? I'm a bit of a social butterfly, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fun.
Nobody could gather that.
It's fun to go to the gym and hang out with everybody and say hi and shoot shit. What are you doing? What's going on? And whatever. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoy staying in shape. I will work out forever.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. I really enjoy it. Yeah. I feel fantastic when I work out. And I'm motivated. I'm super motivated.
Yeah.
I'm 46. What goals do I have now? Right. So my goals are super health right now, right? Mm-hmm. I'm still vaping a little bit. I got to kick that. But other than that, you know what I mean, my brother?
Yeah.
So, again, weakness, right? You're looking at me like, what are you doing? So this is beautiful. Yeah. This is beautiful. This is how the world works, right? This is how our brains tell us even though we're doing something bad, it makes us feel we're doing something good. Okay. All right. So here's how I broke it all down. Okay. So I smoked a pack of Players Rich Regular, Player Light, okay? Players Light. Well, each cigarette has, follow me here, 36 milligrams of nicotine, okay? So and plus the tar, and plus the tobacco.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm vaping.
Not the fun stuff,
vaping.
Okay.
I'm vaping 6 milligrams of nicotine instead of 36, right?
Big difference.
No tar, no tobacco.
Amazing.
So, now.
Definitely better.
Now, am I addicted to it? No, I'm just lazy and I don't want to kick the habit. I'll never smoke cigarettes again.
Right.
I've been on the golf course, a couple beers in me, and
that's awesome.
Your vape dies on you. There's 5 holes left. All my friends smoke, so let me try a drag, right? And you're gonna love it, bro. I put it in my mouth.
Doesn't happen.
I put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
I took a drag, and
doesn't.
It was the grossest thing ever, right? So you know what that told me? I went, Patty, you're such an idiot, dude. I can't believe you smoked for that many years. You're such a loser. And listen, I wish I was perfect. I'm not. I'm just one of those guys that sometimes you need to be knocked down a little bit to realize that.
Man, it helps us learn.
It helps us learn, right? The secret is, did you learn? Did you learn?
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah, I and I love seeing you there at the gym, and you're getting all your belts and
I'm trying, man.
and that's pretty sick, bro. We're at a level now, though.
I'm trying.
You get the level where you're at. I know there's a long way to go, but
yeah, it's a lot of fun though.
I know
it's
a
lot of fun. It's something that I've found over the years is really interesting. And I'm sure Corey could attest to this more, and you can ask him. But when you first start, I started when I was like 21.
How old are you now, bro?
25.
Okay, right on.
Yeah,
see what I mean?
Oh, jeez. So it's not that Like, I see people like Trent and people younger coming in, and they're kicking ass, taking names, and everyone's like, oh yeah, you're these youngins. And I'm like, I'm 9 years older than somebody?
Yeah.
Let alone I see this person.
And you're young, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, man, you're young too, though. 46 is pretty young.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, I've never been an age guy. I'm not an age guy at all, and you know what? So, yeah, I hear you. But I hear what you're saying, and it's funny. I'm going, listen to him, and right? So, but here's the thing. I can sit down and hang out with my son and his buddies, have a couple beers with them.
Epic.
And I can come and sit down with you guys at your age group.
Yeah.
And then I also have very good friends that are 70 and 75 years old that I'll sit down. So I'm lucky, man. I have good friends. But I'm young at heart. Mm-hmm. I try to take as less. Listen. Am I sensitive? Of course, we're all a little bit sensitive, right? That must be the French in me, maybe. Man.
No, it's got to be the
French a little bit.
It always defaults back to that. It's
right?
a French something.
It's a French, man. It's not my fault.
You tripped over that rock? I'm from Sturgeon.
My dad's from Sturgeon, there. Not my fault, But, so, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm just young at heart, and it is what it is, and, I'm getting a little more tired as I get older and stuff like that, right? I don't want to go out as much anymore, and it's, for me to go out for dinner, if we do it once every couple of months, that's good. I should do it more with Leslie, obviously, but that's just laziness, right? That's just you get tired. You'll see.
I
can't wait, buddy. I can't wait.
I'm tired all the time already. That's a weird like complaint thing though. I find a lot of people now is like, oh man, I'm tired. How you doing? I'm tired. And I'm like, well, aren't we all tired though? Just starting.
Yeah.
We're like, we all kind of like I was tired before. Like when I woke up tired. I was working. I was tired. I'm tired now.
But here's the thing. So and I know where you're coming from, bro. I love it. Mm-hmm. So when you wake up in the morning, you're boom. You feel fresh. You're ready to go. Like you feel alive.
It's amazing.
You're clear, right? You're not groggy from the night before, whatever.
No, it's perfect.
Well, a guy like you at 25.
Yeah.
I remember 25. I was never tired. The problem is just as your body gets older and stuff. I don't even know what the medical terms or biological terms of it are, but
I'm sure somebody else.
There's just shit that starts to go away. Mm-hmm. Right, and it just you get tired, you get older, Like my dad's 80. He goes. Like if I don't call him before 5 o'clock, bro, I can't talk to him. He's snoring. Asleep. And I grill him. And I go, Dad, it's 5:30, bro. Like what's the matter with you, man? like you all right, And son, I'm tired. Son, look at 80.
Yeah, it happens.
Anyways, it's just whatever.
So, that's hilarious.
So don't grill me for being tired. I have an excuse.
I'm not too concerned too much about it, but what I do know is I feel it's mainly a recovery thing, like your ability to recover better.
I wish I would have ate healthier all my life. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I'll tell you that. I'm just starting in the last 4 or 5 years to just kind of be a lot more open to, like I love salad now.
Yeah.
I've always loved it, but I would have like just a big bowl of salad. For supper.
Just Caesar?
I love Caesar.
Caesar the bacon? Yeah, no croutons though.
No croutons, right?
I can't do croutons. That's just me though. That's just me.
But whatever, salad and soup. To get my son to eat salad and soup right now, he'd look at me like I have 4 heads. But that would be a nice lunch for me now.
Yeah.
So whatever. I find the older I get, the more obviously mature, right, and just less headstrong on sticking to my ridiculous lazy ways of eating. It's and when I prepare a meal, I feel good. I enjoy it.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It's huge.
But it's just, you get home at 3:30, you're Trentster, you want to hit a little Swiss chalet tonight for dinner, bro, get some white chicken meat, bro, healthy, butts?
Yeah.
Right? But too much of that, right? So
yeah, it's tricky, but I think what made you want to make that switch to healthy eating versus, or like at least more diet, conscious?
I think the heart attack. Yeah. I think the heart attack made me realize that you cannot just go to the gym, and that will solve everything, right?
Right.
You have to, you can't just put gas in your car. You need oil. You need whatever. If that makes sense, if that's a great analogy. Do you know what I mean?
Sure
and
it takes more than just one thing.
It just takes more than one thing, and it's just again, it's time of life, where I was in my life, what I was doing, who I was hanging out with, things of that nature too. Like my girlfriend now that I've been with for over 4 years, she's for the most part pretty healthy, right? She'd rather cook than eat out,
That's amazing, yeah.
Right, and she's her son Brady is 11, so she cooks every night, right? There's very little Friday nights we'll order out, and it's always potatoes and carrot, just healthy.
The good stuff.
Oh, the good stuff, buddy. I could eat Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner and Easter dinner. All year round.
Every night, all year round, yeah.
Oh, ham's my favorite.
Yeah?
Oh, the big short shank ham.
I'm getting hungry now.
Like a caveman, buddy. I'll grab the bone and see you later.
Epic. Right on. What was that, like, take me through that heart attack experience for you, and then I'll kind of share my experience with heart attacks.
Sure. I was at home, Trent was there, and Leslie was there, and it was just about midnight. And we were in bed. We're watching a movie or something like that, and tired and went to bed. And I said, I feel like I got some bad heartburn right now. It started right in the middle of my chest.
Yeah.
And it just, like, you ever put a Tums in water and you see it fizzle? That's what it's feeling like in my chest, with a sharp pain a little bit, right? But it didn't, it was weird. Like, it didn't, I didn't feel anything in my heart. You know what I mean? I felt it right here. I guess your heart is right across, though.
Yes, yeah.
But I felt it here, and then it kind of went up here a little bit. And I got out of the bedroom, went to my kitchen, and just started sweating and sweating and sweating. Like, I couldn't believe it. It weirded me out a little bit. To the point where I was outside this was in March. Mm-hmm. It was on St. Patrick's Day, Saturday.
Oh, geez,
2019. Yeah. 2019, I think is when it happened.
Oh, wow.
So, she comes out and she looks at me. I was gray like this.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't know, though. And I'm up walking around, and the heart.
You can almost hear it out of your chest.
And now I know, right? Now I look at her. You know what? Yeah. I just didn't want to believe it. I knew what was happening to me. I just didn't want to believe it. And my son's bedroom door is right here, and this is our kitchen. Right? I'm like, Trentster can't see me like this.
No.
He was awake the whole time, didn't come out. I couldn't believe it. I felt so bad. Anyways, call 911. She convinced. And I said to Leslie, I go, okay, you know what? You better call, right? But I didn't want to call Glen. I didn't want to call. I'm like, okay, it's just heartburn, right? It's like that testosterone in the man.
Yeah, that ego thing for sure.
It's but not a cocky ego thing.
No, not at all. No.
It was like I can't. This can't happen to me in front of my chick and my son.
Yeah, it's not how you want them
to
see.
Right? Listen, whatever, if that's selfish thinking, whatever, but...
Hey, man, in that situation, you kind of got to be, right?
So...
You get the right to.
But also, too, and it comes to a point in those scenarios where you realize, okay, I'm tapping out here, call 911, you get it, and I got it.
Yeah.
So they get there, and I sit down, they take my blood pressure, I'm sitting on top of my coffee table, they've given me an aspirin, maybe 2, and I kind of calmed down a bit. Right? My heart wasn't going crazy, but it was just the aspirin that had kicked in for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was actually still having a heart attack. So even though they took the blood pressure and all that, and it was a little wonky, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. I remember the paramedics. God bless them all. There were 3 of them. They were amazing.
Nice.
And they said, "Listen, Patty. I guess you might have had maybe an anxiety attack, which I've never had. I'm not really prone to heartburn either, Mm-hmm. But they kind of said that they would leave me in the house, but I think they were just saying that to me to appease me at the time, and they said, why don't you come with us?
Yeah.
It's like teasing a dog with a treat, Why don't you come with us, and just to make sure. Well, sure enough, I go into my driveway. Mm-hmm. I die. They had to give me the paddles in my driveway.
Come on, man.
Yeah, flatlined. So Trent and Leslie are in the house, and they're like, what? It's taking so long. Like they put him in the ambulance 15 minutes ago in my driveway.
Yeah.
I don't know this, right? I do remember this though. One of the paramedics, older guy I call him the Silver Fox. He was an awesome dude.
Nice.
And he was grabbing my hands where they put a needle in, the intravenous, and it wasn't done right. And he was squeezing it, hurting me. He was hurting me on purpose to keep me awake. Patty, don't go to bed. Don't go to bed, Patty.
Yeah,
and I would look at her. Yeah. I remember this going, bro, I'm good. And I passed out, right? But I didn't feel like I was dying.
Right.
I felt like I was falling asleep. Legit.
Yeah.
No pain, no nothing. The heart had stopped. I'm being a little dramatic here, exaggerating a little bit there, but so anyways, they leave my driveway. Yeah. I live in New Sudbury on Danforth.
Yeah.
Okay, off Falconbridge.
Nice.
They go up Falconbridge.
Yeah.
Turn right onto the Kingsway, my brother. Guess where they fucking stop again? Sorry, I don't mean swear, guys. They stopped at McDonald's on the Kingsway because I died again.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you. Now, I didn't see God, I didn't see devil, I didn't see shit, okay? So there was no white light. There was nothing. I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought I could have a chat with the big guy up there, but nothing to the like. So they went to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, I was awake and emerge, and I watched the doctor put the stint in me the whole 9 yards. He gave me shit because I was talking to him while he was putting the stint in me.
No.
I'm like, Doc, look at that. Oh, I'm like, I was really blocked. Hey, he's like, Pat, you got to stop moving. But look how blocked I was. So I think I was 98% blocked in one of my arteries. So I was fortunate having, after all that, being paddled twice, flatlining twice, I only needed one stint.
Wow.
And I tell you this right now, bro. I was awake. They put it in through my arm, and I was watching the monitor. Mm-hmm. And it's like a red dye, like water, like food coloring in water. That's how it looks. Well, when I was looking at it, you see this like ping pong ball size of dark fluid floating in water. Like, you know how dye floats goes over. Well, I thought that was the dye, but it was my actual blood. You could see my blood shooting through my vein as they're opening up, and each time it would pulsate through, I'd wake up a little bit.
Come on! Oh, yeah.
The energy and the ability to breathe. That's what I tell everybody. The biggest thing I've noticed is I can breathe now. I couldn't breathe before. I'd walk up before I had my heart attack, bro.
Yeah.
A month before I had my heart attack, I quit cigarettes because I told Leslie, I go, babe, every time I walk up the stairs here, like I am sweating and my legs from the waist down were like burning, like when they burn, kind of thing from doing a workout.
Oh, and that's not good.
I know. And I attributed it to, number one, Glenski babes, I wasn't working out, bro, and I was still puffing darts like crazy. So I quit. I figured, you know what, Patty, you lazy shit. You haven't lifted a weight in 3 years.
Yeah.
I was doing push-ups at home. A little bit of curls just to maintain
a little bit. Just a bit of physique. So.
That does nothing unless you do 200 push-ups a day every day.
Yeah, it's high demand when you're doing
high demand.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that's all being lazy, right?
Yeah.
Procrastination nation, baby. And so, but the biggest thing, anyways. Sorry, sidetracked there again. But like I said, the biggest thing that with the stint when they put in was, I felt like I had a new set of lungs.
Whoa.
Couldn't breathe. I short of breath all the time, and I realize now, I guess I saw it coming, but I didn't know that's what was coming. But I knew something's not right with me. Yeah. Something is, the oil in this body is thick right now, right? It's clump.
Man.
So that was my experience. And I'll tell you something right now, I've never felt better. And well, you know what happened to me 2 months after I had my heart attack, right? I broke my leg. Remember that?
That's right.
I broke my leg, man.
Right.
Yeah, trying to show off to my son Trent.
Oh,
and Leslie's little guy Brady, slam dunking a basketball, right? White man. They made that movie for a reason, right? White man can't jump. So I stuffed myself on the rim and snapped my left leg. So that was through the whole summer. No golf, on the couch for 3 months. Full leg cast.
No,
anyways, so I've been through a little bit of shit, but you want to know what? So has everybody. So I chalk it up to, you know what? Facts. It's happened to me. New lease on life.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. My experience with a heart attack was a little different. I've never had one myself, but I find when people talk about it, and I have a question after I want you to think about. I'll ask you now, and then I'll share my piece. But there's such thing in the medical industry called the trauma anniversary, if that makes sense. Okay. So it's the day that you had this traumatic life experience, and then at a year or every day, it's like a 9/11 anniversary, right? It's like everybody feels something about where they were in that time.
Okay.
Or they remember the experience more vividly, perhaps, than every other day. Mm-hmm. So February 2nd, I believe it was 2017. Okay. I was like 7:20 or something. I was teaching this adult swimming class at the YMCA in Ottawa, and I was running an adult swim class, and it was like my level 2s, so they were all a bit more competitive. A couple of them wanted to swim longer out, like a couple of marathon races. Some wanted to race in pools and stuff. So it's great. So what happened is I had this gentleman named Walter, and he's 57 years old. I'm like, hey, brother, like, what's going on? How are you? How you feeling today? And he's like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling all right. I'm like, okay, whatever, like, just warm up and we'll get into it. Does a couple laps, goes back and forth, gets out, and he's like, hey, Glenn, so I don't feel too good. I was like, oh, all right, man, like, typical, like, thing for somebody should say in my situation. I'm like, hey, man, all right, cool, like, get up, sit on the side, and let me know if it gets worse. Mm-hmm. right? Like, how you're feeling now? Like, just chill out. You know, maybe he's like, just gotta calm down. You know, maybe who knows, right? So, excuse me. He gets up. He sits down. Maybe about 8-10 minutes later, tops, not even. I'm walking around. I'm like following. Basically, the pool is built like an 8, like the letter 8. Okay.
Okay.
So it's built like this. And I'm walking here. This is where the wall is, and there's like a foot ledge. Then there's pool. There's a hot tub here, men's change room here, family change room here, women's change room here, and our guard office here. I'm around here. Walter's here sitting down. All of a sudden, I look up, and I see him go.
Yeah.
Face hit, chest hit his knees, collapses on the floor, and yes, freaky. So I remember like the quickest, shortest, longest moment that I lived up until that time was that moment where I stood there, looked directly at what was happening. It's like, and it was like a weird movie thing where like I had a list of options, or not a list of options, sorry, Pat, but a list of steps.
I know what you mean.
I needed to go through to like do this successfully. As you can when you can't control the outcome too much, right?
That's a crazy scenario to be thrown into like that.
It's ridiculous, right?
Hey,
I was like, I don't even know. I was like 21, 22, something. Yeah. Not even 22, probably.
Yeah. Still young.
Oh, yeah.
Still young, man. It's absolutely. Yeah. You're starting now at 25 there, that you're a man. Trust me, man, you're a man, bro. But at 25, mentally, that's what I find. That's when I can notice when some of my younger buddies, through golf, right? And some of my sons, my friends' sons, 25. Oh, okay, look at that. There's the man. Now, more. There's no more. Not a kid anymore. He's still gonna have fun and drink and have.
For sure.
But just bought a house and bills and car and.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
The thinking of a man, like you're there.
He's thinking it there.
Look what you're doing. This is awesome.
Hell yeah! Thank
Absolutely.
You,
We're gonna have to redo this and talk about some MMA stuff though.
Oh, I'm game for sure.
Me, you, and Corey.
Oh, dude. Great idea.
You guys all gotta watch that podcast.
I'll pencil it in. I'll figure out. I'll do it live. Yeah. I'll get it worked. I'll get that TV working.
Lots of French swearing going on there. I'll tell you that.
I'll have subtitles on. I'll be a different challenge. But anyway, so what happens is here. I remember I yelled for my buddy who was in the guard office, but he was done working. So I usually him and I shoot the shit, right? We yap back and forth. Mm-hmm. So whenever I was like Christian, and he's just like he's like whatever, man. Like I'm trying to change. I'm just trying to get my lotion on my crusty body. I just want to leave, right? Mm-hmm. I remember running, like not running, but like slow walking, and I go, Christian, first aid kit now. And then I go, and the guy's on the ground. He's like doing like a weird. He's not breathing out. He's not exhaling. He's just inhaling, and his chest is getting bigger. And then he's like first aid. I'm like first aid kit now. He runs. I'm like Patrick, get everybody out of the pool now. Call 911. He gets everybody out of the pool. He goes to call 911. I hear a loud scream. Mm-hmm. It's the dude's wife is in the other lessons, and she comes over and she's now grabbing her husband, going, "Do something." I'm like, I have no gloves, and he's convulsing blood onto his chest. I'm not just gonna go in on that, like in there. Yeah. So my buddy comes over. He drops the first aid kit. Literally drops it. I grab my gloves, put my gloves on. He stops convulsing his blood. I start my compressions. He gets the mask out. We put the mask on. She did the first 2 rounds of rescue breaths. Yeah. Just on his blooded, like
the wife did
congealed blood all over his face, and she just doesn't care. She's just a rescue breath.
That's her hobby, right?
Oh yeah, she's like
difference. And I, you know what?
I never knew anything like that. And I'm seeing like, wow.
Makes you have a lot of respect for paramedics now, eh?
Yeah, it was. Speaking of them, like man. Forget them in this time. I was tripping. I was like, what is going on? You can imagine the adrenaline, right? I'm like freaking out, but I'm trying not to, right?
Well, you don't want the guy to die, right? You do not want that guy to die.
That's the thing you don't want to do, and you don't want the outcome. Like, I'll take anything. Don't want that. So, long story short, paramedics show up. They don't run, and I have a paramedic friend of mine coming on next week or in 2 weeks. Sorry, so I'm going to talk with him a bit about this, but I get his 5 cents on it, but. They don't run, right? They show up. They've never been there before, maybe. So he shows up, and all the paramedics are just taking their time. Right? They're like, all right, keep going. Keep doing your rounds. Finish this round of CPR. I'm like, dude, I did 5 rounds of CPR with them paramedics on site.
That's... Oh, man.
Yeah. But I'm in the zone. They're like, they're not going to do compressions any better or differently than I am. I'm sure if there was an issue with it, what they were doing, they would have pulled me off. But I'm like, they're like, come in. They said, like, all right, just keep going. Gives us more time to set up, right? And then everything worked out. And and then, but he ended up living, thankfully.
Okay. It was a heart attack after all, obviously. What was the blood? What was all the blood from?
I'm not sure. I think it was, it could have been a blockage, and he was trying to, and it was just happened to be going out up. I'm not sure. Yeah. I really, I'm not sure. I want to ask him. That's actually a really good question. Yeah. I'm gonna bring that up with him because that's.
I've never had that happen. That's crazy.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but it's weird, right? Because there's such a huge, wide variety of heart attack symptoms.
I was still alert a little bit to a certain extent until I lied down in the stretcher there. I didn't even want to go. I wanted to walk. I wanted to walk to the ambulance from my house.
Come on, man!
Think of that.
At midnight.
Well, yeah, and they're like, "Well, no, we'll put you in a chair." I go, "Guys, I'm walking onto my deck. I got to go down 3 stairs. The ambulance is right there.
I can see.
I can see it." Yeah. No, let's put you in and strap you in this chair. I go, "Guys, I guess
I'm going to get there sooner."
But they didn't. I didn't know, right? Yeah. They didn't want me to walk to get the heart going, kind of thing. Not to not get it going, to not stress it out.
They wanted to
just keep me calm, and I probably would have fell down the stairs. I probably would have,
Yeah, who knows? Broke something, maybe. Who knows?
Retrospect is such a beautiful thing, right? Yeah. You can go back in time.
Yeah.
But that's a crazy story, bro. Good for you, though. Yeah, good for you, bro. Proud of that.
Thank you very much.
You see, you can say you saved somebody's life now, man.
Yeah, there was a bunch of us there though.
It doesn't matter.
Lifeguard wise, there was I remember though there was a kind of a weird funny moment that took place in the whole chaos of the wife screaming and one of our supervisors having to bear hug and get this woman out of the building. Because all she's doing is grabbing and yelling. She's just doesn't
panicking.
need to
she's
be
panicking.
There. She's panicking, right? No reason to be there, not contributing. But then this the buddies on 911, guys with the first aid kit, getting the supervisor clearing out the change room, getting everybody off the deck, getting everybody calling out, waiting for the paramedic at the mall entrance to the So many things need to take place. Luckily, we had enough people to do it. Glad it wasn't just me and one person, but.
Thank God they didn't. Dude, imagine seeing somebody drowning in that pool or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just it's a massive, massive responsibility. I tell you right now, I love. Yeah, I know what you mean. Mm-hmm. Paramedics, you run, guys.
I understand what you're doing.
You can take over now. Thank you very much.
Come on, this is what I was hoping for. You got.
I know. Yeah. But that's awesome. That's a successful story. Anyways, right?
Yeah,
I've never had anything like that happen to me, but thank God.
No kidding. It's a crazy. It was a crazy thing. But the funny moment was, I remember. So one little side thing that I did, I took my flip flops and I put them under my knees to do CPR.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the greatest decision I've ever done. There's no way am I putting my knees on wet tile floor.
That's right. Allowed to stay you longer to help him longer.
And I was able to get up, my knees not being beat up, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I remember doing compression, or I'm assessing right before I started compressions. I remember the guy on the phone, Patrick, love him to death. He goes, "Hey, she wants to know if the man's breathing." And I remember stopping what I was doing, looking at him and going, "No."
You did not.
And then I go back to what I was doing back. And it was a weird, out-of-body moment that brought him on. And we laughed at him like, "Hey, man, do you remember it?" And he's like, "Dude, I was trying not to laugh, but..."
I don't know. It was a weird moment. You're out of the body, you're talking there. I know what you mean there. But, when I died there, first of all, I didn't even know that I died. They had to tell me.
Yeah, you found out right.
Yeah,
you took a short nap.
I died. Bro, I woke up in the emergency room going, "Let's go, fix me up." Yeah. They're like, "Patty, we just had to zap you twice."
It's calm down.
What are you talking about? They're like, "Dude, we had to paddle you two times, man. You flatlined on the stairs." I go, "No, I didn't."
Come on.
I did not. You're lying to me. They're like, "You did?" I go, "I didn't see shit. I didn't." Right? So I know these people that say hilarious. That I don't know at what level of dead you need to be to see these bright lights or whatever the stories that you hear there. I mean, to me, dead is dead, right? I don't know, man,
Yeah, there's an off.
Do you not love me? Am I not good enough?
You're not. It's not off or on. It's just,
Aye. Yeah. So that's crazy.
Switching gears a bit, as we kind of come towards the end.
Yeah.
What has been, in your opinion, your proudest moment, let's say, as in business?
Building a company respectful and big enough to have somebody else want to buy you up.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I can say that I've done that. I've right? I mean, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And to also go and have that company grow and become bigger. So it was never a one and done for me. Right? You know what I mean? I got to put food on the table. I
for sure.
You know what I mean? Single dad, right? Single dad. So, but I think at the end of the day, in business, obviously starting that from scratch, number one, taking an idea that nobody believed in and thought that's never going to fly. That is never going to fly. How are you going to do that? Right? You know, I said, well, the fact that you just told me that ain't flying, I'm getting a 747, baby. This is not happening, right? So, but honestly though, so seeing it grow and everything was awesome, but I didn't see that at the time, right? It was just tunnel vision. Grow. Okay, let's get this let's keep them happy. Let's, you know, how do I, and also too, when I, you know, another big thing for me in business too is when I landed the hospital HSN contract. I mean, you just nobody gets in there. That's true. That is a hospital, that's government run. Right. There's 7 levels of security you got to go through to, you know. So that's huge. And for us to have the contract with the hospital for their digital media for the last, I think we're in our 8th year now. Yeah,
is pretty solid, pretty cool.
Wow.
You know. So, but yeah, ultimately the first answer was to build a company that somebody, a bigger company, looked at and saw feasible enough to buy for their own, to bring into their own. Cool. Yeah, you know, so that was pretty cool. And you know, that and starting it from being, I was the first guy to sell digital advertising in Sudbury. Right?
That's sick.
So that's cool. You know? And now everybody wants
Everybody's
to do
it.
Everybody's doing it. You know, and I see little guys try, and then next thing you know, their billboard's down and it's off the wall, and because it's not easy.
It's not.
I'll tell you something right now. And I would like, if anybody wants to challenge me on this, by all means, sales, right? Mm-hmm. Having a sales position is one of the hardest jobs on earth. To try and sell somebody something they either don't want or don't need. Okay?
Wow. Yeah.
And also, it's like, how do you do that? Like, how do car salesmen? You explain this to me. How do car salesmen sell 200 cars a year in a small town like Sudbury? When you got 8 salesmen at one dealership, they all sell 200 cars a year. Think of that for a second. Is there any forceful play there? Is there any?
Yeah.
So
it almost has to be.
It's just selling advertising. Okay, is like. That's the last thing a business wants to spend money on, because they look at it as a lost leader, right? There's no return for that, right? Whether it be radio, TV, digital advertising, mail-outs, you know, the world we live in today, it's very heavy in social media and digital, right? And you know what I mean? So, So that was, for sure. That was always something that I prided myself on too, being able to grow the digital market to where it is now. Do you know what I mean? Where people now, a lot of companies now, digital is just part of their advertising campaign and marketing campaign now, right? They got their weekend blitz with the radios, they get the TV commercials, and then they have a longer term, right? A consistent, always in your face advertising stream, whether it be digital, whether it be on the radio, you know, so on and on and on and on, right?
Oh. That's fascinating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like that.
It's hard. Really cool. It's hard to be a sales in any. For the most part, sales is one of the hardest jobs in the world, because you need to make that person that's either buying the product off you or hesitant to buy the product off you.
Yeah.
You got to make them trust you. Mm-hmm. You got to make them want to come back and buy off you again.
Yeah,
and that's huge, right? Doing them right.
Like you said,
don't spend $100 on that, sir. Spend $60 on this, because you don't need the 100. Mm-hmm. Where most people go, I'm going to sell the 100 because I get more commission money on that, right? But what they don't understand is, do you not want this guy to come back again and again and again and again and again?
Yeah. Like you said, it's the returns.
It's never in sales. In sales, you try and not to be the one and done, right? Because clients will see that from you. They'll see
pretty quick too, whether they're in that industry or not.
Yeah, and I listen. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury to be in a one and done business, and it's longevity for me, right? Like most, like, you know, even car salesmen. If you go buy a car off somebody, and it's the first car that you buy, right? I would hope that salesman would do everything in his power to make sure, hey, I'll see you in 4 years. Come and see me, and you know what? We'll take care of you. Yeah. And then in 4 years after that, we'll switch you up again. And it's called relationships, trust, and that guy has just earned himself Yeah.
Client for life.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you do that properly for 10, 12 years, yes, your job can become a little bit easier and, you know, a little less hectic and so on and so forth, because now you have people coming to see you.
Right.
Because you've earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've earned it.
That's true.
It's like you in MMA, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you want that purple belt. You want to get your 4 stripes. You want to get the black belt, right?
For sure.
So you see, for me, that doesn't interest me, right?
Right.
Doing it, but I am the biggest. I ran every like I know as much as you do about the sport and all that.
Yeah.
I just don't, because I'm lazy. And I don't want to go roll around and get all sweaty with you guys. I'd rather just give you a kiss on the cheek and give you a big hug, you know? Let's go out and beer. But now Trenton, I just am a big fan, you know? I'm a big fan. Sure. And, you know, there's a Trent right there. Maybe he thought that he tried to get on the podcast here or something like that. But anyways, so that's, like I said, that's the thing, right? It's longevity and building relationships and stuff like that I've tried my best to, you know, I'm sure not everybody loves me, but I've tried my best to have that type of personality, or that type of, when I leave somebody, I want you to feel that you've known me forever and you're excited to talk to me or see me again. Right?
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. 100%.
Right, bro?
100%.
So that's kind of how I fly. And
amazing.
I haven't changed. I have not changed who I am for 20 years. Well, this is who I am, right? You know, and you know, more people like me than don't. I would have.
Hey, man, count it. Count that. That's huge. Yeah, for sure.
Anyways,
for sure. Right on. Now, do you have, as we close, a final like piece of advice or message you would pass on? That if
to all the youngsters out there that want to, you know,
all the youngsters, whether it's business or personal,
just block out the noise, man.
Yeah,
block out the noise. Be you, do you, you know, do you, but don't be selfish.
That's fair. Yeah,
right?
That's huge.
And what do I mean by that? You know what? I don't want to go to university for business. So I don't want to do it. I want to go be a plumber. Go be a plumber, bro.
Go do it, yeah.
You'll be the best plumber ever.
Yeah.
You know, open up your own business in 7 years. You know?
Yeah.
But my best advice that I could give is believe in yourself, block out the noise, and be organized.
Be organized.
Be organized.
I love it. Right on.
You know?
All right, so where can people find you?
People can find me at Mac Media Sudbury, and if you have any digital needs, just give me a call.
Right on. All right, brother. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Glenn, thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's do this again.
All right, awesome, brother. Hell yeah.